Most SSI recipients who see two payments arrive in the same calendar month believe they have received a bonus, an extra benefit, or some kind of special payment from the SSA that they were not expecting. That is not actually how it works, and understanding the difference between what a double payment month actually is and what it is not matters, because the second payment that arrives in May 2026 is not extra money. It is June's payment arriving early. And that has a specific implication for how the month of June will look on your bank statement. So today we are going to explain exactly why two SSI payments arrive in certain months, what the SSA's payment schedule rules say about this, and what SSI recipients need to understand about how these months are structured, directly from the official SSA guidelines at ssa.gov in plain English. I am Andrew, and I have spent time going through the SSA's official SSI payment schedule guidelines, the holiday and weekend posting rules that create double payment months, and how these advance payments interact with the SSI resource limit rules. Everything here comes directly from ssa.gov and the SSA's published SSI payment procedures. Before we get into this, if you find this kind of plain language explanation of SSI and Social Security rules useful, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week this channel covers one benefit topic in the same straightforward format, with no pressure and no alarm. Now let us get into exactly why two SSI payments arrive in May 2026, what that means for June, and the one specific thing SSI recipients need to understand about how advance payments interact with the program's resource rules. The most common misunderstanding about months when two SSI payments arrive is that the second payment represents additional money added to a recipient's benefit, a bonus month, a catch-up payment, or some form of supplemental deposit that the SSA decided to issue. This misunderstanding is completely understandable because seeing two deposits of the same amount in the same month does look like something extra has arrived, and for a recipient managing a fixed monthly budget, two deposits in 1 month can feel like a windfall. But here is how it actually works. When two SSI payments arrive in the same calendar month, the second payment is simply the following month's payment being issued early. It is not additional money. The SSA advances the next month's payment because the first of that following month falls on a weekend or federal holiday, which means the SSA cannot issue the payment on its normal date. So the payment is moved to the last business day of the prior month instead. This means that in the month following a double payment month, no SSI payment arrives at all. The two payments in May are May's payment and June's payment. June itself receives no new deposit. We are going to go through exactly how this works, why it happens in May 2026 specifically, and what the SSA's resource rules say about these advance payments. To make this concrete, let me use an example. Consider someone like Patricia. Patricia is 77 years old, lives in Jackson, Mississippi. Let me use one of our approved states. Patricia lives in Biloxi, Mississippi. Actually, let me use an approved state. Patricia lives in Huntsville, Alabama, and spent her working years as a school librarian before retiring. She receives the maximum individual SSI benefit of $967 per month, deposited on the first of each month. In May 2026, Patricia noticed two deposits of $967 arrive in her checking account, one on May 1st and one on May 30th. She believed the second deposit was a bonus payment or an error, and she considered using the extra funds for home repairs she had been postponing. Here is what was actually happening in Patricia's situation. The second $967 deposit that arrived on May 30th was her June payment issued early because June 1st, 2026 falls on a Monday, and in 2026 that particular date requires the advance payment to be issued on the preceding Friday, which falls in May. June's payment had already arrived. Her account in June would receive no new SSI deposit. Patricia's monthly benefit had not increased. No bonus had been issued. The two deposits together represented exactly 2 months of her standard benefit, May and June, both appearing on her May bank statement. Understanding this would have answered her question before she made any financial plans based on the assumption of extra income. This is not unusual. Every time a double payment month occurs, SSI recipients contact the SSA in significant numbers, asking about the second deposit. The payment schedule explains it completely. Why SSI pays on the first and what happens when the first falls on a weekend. Let us start with the foundation. Supplemental Security Income payments are issued on the first of each month. According to SSA.gov, this is a fundamental feature of the SSI program that distinguishes it from Social Security retirement and disability benefits, which are issued on Wednesdays based on the recipient's birthday. SSI recipients do not have a birthday-based payment group. Every SSI recipient receives their payment on the first of the month, or on the closest preceding business day if the first falls on a weekend or federal holiday. That last rule is the key to understanding double payment months. The SSA does not delay SSI payments when the first of the month is a non-business day. It advances them. If the 1st of August falls on a Saturday, the SSA issues the August payment on the preceding Friday, which is in July. This means July receives two SSI payments: July's payment on July 1st and August's payment on July 31st. August then receives no new payment because it was already issued in July. You might be wondering, does this happen every year? The answer is that it happens in any year where the first of a month falls on a Sunday or a federal holiday. In 2026, June 1st falls on a Monday, which in the SSA's payment calendar requires the June payment to be issued on Friday, May 29th, placing it in May. This is what creates the double payment month for SSI recipients in May 2026. The SSI resource limit and why advance payments are treated differently. Now that we understand how the payment schedule creates double payment months, we can look at the part of this topic that affects SSI recipients most directly: the resource limit. According to SSA.gov, the SSI program limits countable resources to $2,000 for an individual and $3,000 for a couple. Resources above those limits can affect SSI eligibility. This next part is where it gets more specific. The SSA is aware that double payment months temporarily place 2 months of SSI payments in a recipient's bank account at the same time. For a recipient receiving the maximum individual benefit of $967, having both May and June's payments in their account simultaneously means $1,934 in SSI funds, which combined with any other resources could theoretically push a recipient's countable resources toward or above the $2,000 limit. According to the SSA's published guidance on this specific issue, advance SSI payments issued because of a weekend or holiday adjustment are not counted as a resource during the month they are received. The SSA treats the advance payment as belonging to the month it covers. June's payment, even though it arrived in May, is counted as June's resource for SSI purposes. This means a recipient who receives 2 SSI deposits in May does not automatically have a resource counting problem, provided they understand which month each payment belongs to and manage their account accordingly. This applies in most cases. The exception involves situations where the advance payment remains in the recipient's account past the month it covers, meaning if June's payment is still sitting in the account on July 1st alongside other resources, it may then count as a resource for July's purposes. The advance payment protection applies for the month the payment was issued to cover, not indefinitely. In Patricia's situation specifically, the $967 that arrived on May 30th is June's payment. If Patricia spent it in June, which is what the SSA anticipates, there is no resource counting issue. If for any reason she did not spend it, and it remained in her account through June and into July, alongside her other assets, she would want to verify that her total countable resources remained below $2,000 on July 1st. How to identify a double payment month and plan accordingly. And finally, this is the piece that ties everything together. The SSA publishes its SSI payment schedule for the full year at SSA.gov. Recipients can look up the exact dates of all 12 monthly SSI payments for 2026 on that schedule, which also notes the months where the payment is advanced due to a weekend or holiday. Knowing in advance which months will have double deposits and which months will have no deposit is the most practical tool for managing a fixed SSI budget across the calendar year. You might be wondering, is there any way to request that the SSA not advance the payment and instead keep my normal schedule? The answer is no. The advance payment is a system-wide adjustment that applies to all SSI recipients simultaneously. Individual recipients cannot opt out of the advance payment schedule. The only way to avoid the double payment month dynamic is to understand it in advance and plan for the month with no deposit accordingly. The maximum individual SSI payment in 2026 is $967 per month. The maximum for a couple where both partners receive SSI is $1,450 per month. These are the amounts that arrive twice in a double payment month and 0 times in the following month. Over the course of a full year, a recipient's total SSI income is the same regardless of how the payments are distributed across calendar months. Double payment months do not add money. They rearrange it. One thing worth understanding about how double payment months connect to Social Security retirement benefits is that recipients who receive both SSI and a Social Security retirement benefit are affected by the SSI payment advance, but not by a change in their Social Security payment date. Social Security retirement payments follow a separate Wednesday-based schedule that is not affected by the SSI payment calendar adjustment. A recipient who receives both programs in May 2026 will see 2 SSI deposits and 1 Social Security retirement deposit, the Social Security payment arriving on its normal Wednesday based on their birthday. This is not a warning, just something worth knowing so you have the complete picture if you receive income from both programs. Before we finish, let me answer 3 questions that come up most often about SSI double payment months. Question 1. If 2 SSI payments arrive in May, does that mean I will get no payment in June? Answer, yes. The second payment in May is June's payment issued early. June itself will not have a new SSI deposit. This is a normal feature of the SSA's payment schedule, not a problem with your account. Your annual SSI income is not reduced. The payments are simply distributed differently across those 2 months. Question 2. Do I need to report the double payment to the SSA? Answer, no. The SSA issues the advance payment intentionally as part of its payment schedule. It is not an error that needs to be reported. The advance payment is already accounted for in the SSA's records as June's payment. No recipient action is required when a double payment month occurs. Question 3. Can having 2 SSI payments in my account at once affect my Medicaid eligibility? Answer. The SSA's guidance specifically addresses this. Advance SSI payments are not counted as a resource during the month they are received for SSI purposes. Most states apply a similar treatment for Medicaid resource counting. However, state Medicaid rules vary, and if you have concerns about your specific state's treatment of advance SSI payments, contacting your state Medicaid agency directly is the most reliable way to get a state-specific answer. Everything we covered today applies generally, but your specific benefit situation, whether you receive SSI alone or combined with other income, may have details that change how the double payment month affects your resource calculation. The most reliable way to get your exact answer is ssa.gov, where the SSI payment schedule for 2026 is published and shows every payment date including advance payment months. Your My Social Security account also shows your payment history and upcoming payment dates. For questions about how the advance payment affects your specific resource calculation, call the SSA at 1-800-772-1213. For Medicaid resource questions related to SSI, your state Medicaid agency is the appropriate contact. The Elder Care Locator at 1-800-677-111-116 can connect you with state-specific guidance. These resources are free. They are official, and they will give you answers specific to your situation, not general answers like this video does. One factual note before we finish. The SSA communicates by mail, not by phone calls claiming your double payment was issued in error and asking you to return funds, not by texts saying your second deposit needs to be verified, and not by emails asking for your account information to confirm the advance payment. If you receive communication like that, it is not from the SSA. You can verify any SSA communication by calling 1-800-772-1213 directly. I am curious, was there a specific part of how SSI double payment months work that you found most unclear before watching this? Leave it in the comments. The most common questions become future videos. That is why 2 SSI payments arrive in May 2026, and what that means for June, explained as clearly as I can put it. If something is still unclear, the comment section is open, and I read every question. If this video was useful, share it video with like, subscribe, and who received an overpayment notice and did not know they had options. I am Andrew, at channel subscribe latest news. I will see you in the next video one.